Saints family, grab your heart for this one because we are witnessing the end of an era right before our eyes. The moving trucks are packed and the legend is leaving the building. Our Swiss Army knife, the man who gave his soul to this city, might have just played his final down in black and gold. This is more than a roster move, it is a heartbreak that changes everything we thought about our future. We are building the strongest tribe in the NFL together, so hit that subscribe button to help us reach 3,000 loyal fans right now. This is the raw and painful truth that hit us like a brick wall this morning. We are looking at the final days of Taysom Hill in New Orleans, and it feels like a bad dream. The reports are coming in fast, and they are devastating for anyone who bleeds black and gold. Jim Derry dropped a massive bomb on the Datitude podcast, and the details are impossible to ignore. There were moving pods sitting right there in the driveway of Taysom's home in Old Metairie. Think about that for a second. This is not just a rumor or some clickbait headline from a national reporter who does not know our culture. This is real life happening in our neighborhood. Then we get the confirmation from Matthew Paris at the Times-Picayune, and it gets even heavier. That beautiful property is officially up for sale on Zillow for $2.75 million. You do not list your home and pack up the moving pods unless the writing is on the wall. But the real gut punch came from Mickey Loomis himself at the Saints Hall of Fame golf tournament. Our general manager stood there and told the world that Taysom does not have a contract offer from the team. He has been a free agent since March and the phone is simply not ringing. Can you believe the disrespect for a man who literally broke his body for this franchise? Taysom is turning 36 years old in August, and it seems like the front office has already decided his fate. They are looking at the numbers and the age, but they are forgetting the heart. How do you let a guy like this just walk away without a fight? I want to know if you think Mickey Loomis is making a massive mistake here. Are we just tossing away our most versatile weapon because of a number on a birth certificate? It feels like the business side of the NFL is swallowing up the soul of our team. We have watched Taysom do things that no other human being on a football field can do. He took the hits that nobody else wanted to take. Beckett's. Now the house is for sale and the silence from the front office is deafening. The narrative gets even more complicated when you look at the physical toll this game has taken on our hero. We all remember the nightmare that happened near the end of the 2024 season. It was a devastating knee injury that stopped the world for a moment. Taysom tore his ACL and suffered significant structural damage that would have ended the career of a lesser man. He fought through the pain and the grueling rehab like a true warrior, but the comeback was not the fairy tale we all hoped for. He did not step back onto that field until October of 2025, and the spark just was not the same. He collected just over 200 yards of total offense for the entire season. For a guy who used to dominate every blade of grass, those numbers are a painful reminder of how cruel this league can be. They don't want you to see the struggle behind the scenes, but we saw it in his eyes. Every time he took a hit, you could feel the collective breath of the city being held. We were all praying for that explosive burst to come back, but Father Time and a shredded knee are two enemies that no one can outrun forever. It is an emotional pivot that hurts to talk about, because we want him to be immortal. We want him to be that guy who can run over a linebacker and then throw a 40-yard bomb on the next play. But the reality is that he is a 35-year-old man coming off a catastrophic injury in a league that replaces you the moment you slow down. Is it possible that his body finally said enough is enough? It feels like we are watching a gladiator leave the arena for the last time while the crowd sits in stunned silence. The physical decline is a hard pill to swallow, but it does not diminish what he gave us. He risked it all for the fleur-de-lis, and now he is paying the price with a knee that might never be the same. This is the part of the story that the national media ignores because they do not care about the human being. But we care. We saw the grit and we saw the sacrifice. If you want to see the exact moment the realization hit him, you have to look back at that December game against the Jets. It was our final home game of the 2025 season, and Taysom played like a man possessed. He rushed for 42 yards and caught 4 passes, and even tossed a beautiful 38-yard touchdown pass to Chris Olave. It was vintage Taysom Hill. It was the Swiss Army knife doing everything one last time. But it was what happened after the game that broke all of our hearts. When he took the post-game podium, the emotion just flooded out of him. He actually shed tears when he was asked if this was the end of the road. He talked about his entire family being there in the stands and how much love he felt from the people around him. You could see it in his face that he knew. He mentioned how he was driving to the Superdome that morning and thinking about the last 9 years. 9 years of blood and sweat in this city. He told us that he was just trying to take it all in. Fletcher Mackel asked him if he took an extra moment leaving that field, and the answer was written in his watery eyes. Taysom is one of the most unique players in the history of this franchise, and seeing him that vulnerable was a reality check for everyone. He knew his contract was expiring, and he knew his body was tired. He is a fan favorite for a reason because he wears his heart on his sleeve just like we do. He was not just playing for a paycheck, he was playing for the city of New Orleans. That Jets game felt like a goodbye even if we did not want to admit it at the time. He gave us one last masterclass of versatility just to remind us what we are going to miss. When a player starts talking about their legacy and their family during a press conference, the end is usually near. It was a cinematic moment of pure honesty in a sport that is usually so cold and calculated. He loved us and we loved him back, and that is something a Zillow listing can never change. Seriously, I am losing my mind thinking about how we are going to replace a guy like this. He was a unicorn in a league full of horses. There is no one else like him. Sean Payton had this wild vision of Taysom being the successor to Drew Brees, and while that specific dream did not fully happen, what we got instead was even better. He became a weapon that defensive coordinators stayed up at night trying to figure out. In his 9 seasons here, he scored 45 offensive touchdowns. Think about that number. 34 of those were on the ground where he would just lower his shoulder and punish anyone in his way. He passed for over 2,400 yards and 12 touchdowns. He even finished his career with a 7-2 record as a starting quarterback. He was the ultimate insurance policy and the ultimate spark plug. Whenever the offense felt stagnant, you just gave the ball to Taysom and something crazy would happen. He played special teams and he blocked, and he caught passes, and he ran the power option. He was the heartbeat of the locker room and the soul of the sidelines. The insider truth is that Taysom represented the post-Brees era better than anyone else because he kept our identity alive. He kept us tough. He kept us unpredictable. He was the bridge between the glory years and whatever comes next. Now that bridge is being dismantled, and it feels like another piece of our history is being tucked away in a moving pod. It is unbelievable how quickly things change in the NFL. One day you are the focal point of the offense, and the next day you are listing your house for $2.75 million and waiting for a phone call that never comes. I am telling you right now that we will not realize how much we relied on him until he is gone. Who is going to take those tough third and shorts? Who is going to provide that energy in the fourth quarter when everyone is gassed? We are losing a piece of our DNA, and it feels like the front office is just letting it happen without a word of thanks. This is the Pasatolo scenario for every fan who valued his grit over his age. This is the moment where we have to face the future, and it is a scary sight without number 7 on the sideline. Taysom Hill gave us a decade of highlight reels and pure effort that defined what it means to be a saint. He was the underdog who became a superstar through sheer will and determination. If this truly is the end of his journey in New Orleans, we have to send him out with the respect he deserves. The moving pods are packed and the house is on the market, but his legacy is permanently etched into the concrete of the Superdome. We are witnessing the closing of a legendary chapter in our history. Now I need to hear from every single one of you in the comments below. I want to see this comment section explode with your favorite Taysom Hill memories. Was it the playoff performances or the goal line plunges that made you a believer? Is Mickey Loomis making a historical mistake by not offering him a veteran minimum deal to retire as a Saint? I want to see your fire because this is our team and our culture at stake. We are pushing for 3,000 subscribers, and we need every loyal fan to join the tribe right now to stay updated on this developing disaster. Do not let this news slide by without making your voice heard. Is this the year we finally fall apart, or are we building something new from the ashes of our legends? The business of football is cold, but the heart of the Who Dat Nation is eternal. We stand together through the wins and the heartbreaks, and this one definitely qualifies as a heartbreak. Taysom Hill might be moving out of Old Metairie, but he will never move out of our hearts. Thank you for everything, Taysom. We will be watching every move this front office makes next. Stay loud, stay proud, and never forget who we are. Who Dat Nation.